Must not look at tool catalog. What? Must pay attention. Must not look at tool catalog. Um, must not look at tool catalog. Must watch debate. Debate is important. But tool catalog. Tools. Oh, if I had everything in this book. No, wait. We have to look at the debate. There's tools. Oh, look at that. Power hedgers and flashlights. Oh, the green page. Look at that. They even have a green page. Electric painters. It's not the painters that's the problem. It's the paint. It's a fortune just to paint a house. Hey, I wonder if you can put those on a car and drive it. It doesn't matter even if they get nuclear weapons. And you want to know why? Because if they use it, there's like about 8 nations that are loaded to the hilt with working nuclear weapons that would just, they're just itching to use them. It would be suicide. It would be living underground bunkers in a radioactive wasteland for the rest of the duration of their lives. So why would they do that? Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if they get nuclear weapons or not. Ooh, what is that? A 3-piece quick release magnetic setter. Set? Huh. It looked like a drive set. How would you throw that in there? A dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. I don't even have the wood to cut, and I want to buy one of those. Look at that, tile cutters. People who do tile their whole life, they have like hunchbacks. They're like, oh. I've actually done quite a bit of tile. Ooh, look at that. A 1/4 compact impact driver for $64. And that's the good one too. It's, let's see, 1,000 pounds of torque. 1,000 inch, which would be 100 foot-pound torque. That doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, my simple little air tank tool is 250 foot-pound. Uh-oh. — 950 foot-pounds breakaway torque. Is that foot-pounds per inch? No, I say foot, so that would mean it actually is foot-pounds. That's what I'm saying. This little teeny tiny pudgy thing has 400. Oh, they gotta do better than that. That's pretty close to it. 370. It's a 20 volt. No wonder.
I think that I think that if districts
I
want to
don't
do it,
understand what
they
they
can
said.
do it if
What is
they
this
want.
busing they're talking about? I don't really get it. You know, on the issue of open borders, let me tell you something. I'll tell you a little story about numbers. If you head over to, there's a website called Reddit, and you look at data, the data section, I think they call it data is beautiful, whatever. There's a statistical analysis of what happened when the borders were more open versus when they closed. And we started seeing an influx of migration when the borders got tighter. And the reason why is because they couldn't leave and come back. And I absolutely believe that. I mean, that is one, that's, it makes sense to me because every time policies are implemented, they usually have the opposite effect of what their intent is. So, the border control issue, when they have open borders, all of the companies that are in Texas, the manufacturing companies and the all of the agricultural companies, all of those companies benefit. They benefit from that. I mean, we all know that. Everyone knows that. They just don't talk about it. So they come over here on visas, and then they don't leave because they know if they leave, they're not going to be able to get back in. But I think it was what, before 1980, before they started doing the whole we need to crack down on the border, which, I am not a conspiracy theorist, but when I look at the hard evidence, I have to tell you that it looks like the drug cartel got into power inside of this country, and they wanted the drug route shut off because it was impacting their own profits. So they were blibber blabbering about having tighter border controls in Texas because they wanted it tighter because it meant that guaranteed their profits for their drug routes. You can probably figure out who the people that were connected to that is. I mean, these are public officials and public people, but uh, before the 80s, when the borders were very much open, the vast majority of people that came over here went back to Mexico because they could easily come back again. They didn't have any problems with it. So the borders, they weren't that bad. They weren't as hard to cross as before. And the harder that the borders get to cross, the more people will be here illegally. Those statistics correlate like to a 99 percentile. So the tougher it is for the border, the more likely people are to be here illegally. And they say, why is that? It's simple. They get over here easily uh, on the visa programs or the green cards, and they work, they send their money back, and they go back home. But now it's easier for them to stay than it is. Let's see. That is 325 foot-pound torque. That should be good enough to get tire bolts off. That's pretty good, actually. $70 price on that. Ooh, rapid ton. I was thinking about getting an aluminum jack. I got the steel one, and I may have to take it back. It is so heavy. I can't lift the damn thing off the ground. I didn't think it was that heavy. I guess I forgot to look at the how much the package weight was when I ordered it. Anyway, open borders, right? Open borders benefited Texas. It really did. It benefited all the manufacturing companies in Texas. As to why they buckled down on that, is that a correct word? Why they tightened down the border? It had something to do with the oil companies and their agendas. Had something to do with that back in the 80s. And ever since then, they've been driving that narrative that they want more concrete, more steel, more cameras, more security sensors, more guns, more turrets, more guards working, more spending money at the border. And it actually has the opposite effect. So people are getting green cards in mass numbers, and then they're just staying here. They're not leaving. So you're getting a mass influx of immigration because they know once they leave, they're not going to be able to get back in. And that's the issue. Tonight at 9.